the underlying issues that our rural economy faces are still what they were when we went into this recession in many ways. The agricultural prices don't necessarily translate into economic growth. And I wonder if you could share with the committee what you think the 4 or 5 most important things that USDA, the federal government, can do generally to support an economy that really will mean that there's a rural economy going forward for the sons and daughters of people on the Eastern Plains in Colorado, for example, who wonder very much whether there's going to be the same opportunity or a new opportunity for the next generation of farmers, the next generation of people that want to live in the small towns on the Eastern Plains.
You know, over the course of my lifetime, populations in rural America as a percentage of our overall population have declined. The populations have aged. The poverty rates are higher. Unemployment rates historically have been higher. Now, in this most recent recovery, actually, rural America is recovering a little bit more quickly than our urban and suburban friends. But nevertheless, there are still trend lines that we need to try to reverse. I would suggest that there are a couple of things. First of all, within USDA, I think the things that we can do to fundamentally change that dynamic are to continue to expand access to broadband so that farmers and ranchers have access to real-time information and make real-time decisions. Small business owners can expand their markets from local and regional markets to global markets. Schools can do a better job of offering a multitude of course selections that they might not otherwise be able to afford to provide, and healthcare centers can link up with specialists that would be impossible for them to afford on a day-to-day basis. I think, secondly, we absolutely need to embrace this new energy future. Whether it's fuel or renewable energy, there are tremendous opportunities for economic growth in rural communities. Most of the renewable energy is going to be produced in rural America, and we need to figure out how to maximize the economic return of that for rural residents. Third, I do believe it's important for us to continue to look for ways in which we can create domestic markets. Apart from renewable energy and fuel, I think the local, regional food systems being connected to producers and consumers is important because you can develop local supply chains that are job creators, entrepreneurs who can create small warehousing or cold storage facilities or mobile slaughter units that make it a little bit easier for schools, universities, whatever that might be located in rural areas to actually create jobs and provide alternative opportunities for producers. I think it's very, very important that we do a better job of maximizing outdoor recreation and using our conservation dollars in a way that produces more habitat, more opportunities for hunting and fishing and hiking. It's a multi-hundred-billion-dollar operation we're talking about. Those resources can go into rural America. And then finally, I think we need to look at ways in which we can create verifiable and credible ecosystem markets in which we're basically paying farmers, ranchers, and landowners for certain conservation practices that are of a societal benefit, whether it's water issues, Senator Nelson's comments earlier, bring that to mind, things of that nature. I think we're working at USDA to try to develop those kinds of models that might work. Then finally, I think you got to be concerned about credit and the ability to attract venture capital into rural communities so that you've got a sense of entrepreneurship. That is a real challenge. I know as a governor, we've got several former governors here. I suspect that they dealt with these issues when they were governors. I certainly did, and I think we need to be very creative about how we get venture capital into those rural areas.
Thank you. Thank you, Madam Chair.